Yeah, guys, it is Motocross of Nations weekend in 2024. My favorite time of the year, really. I love this race so much. My favorite race on the calendar, no question about it. Really wish there was more emphasis taken into this race a little bit, but every single year this race comes around, it's always circled on my calendar as one that I truly just cannot wait for, and I am so excited for this weekend. So if you guys clicked on this video, you are here to hear my thoughts and opinions on what's going to happen at this weekend's Motocross of Nations. Of course, I am Kellen Brower. If you're watching this channel, it's called SYS Kellen. I am a journalist in the sport, worked in it for over a decade now. Not there this weekend because my wife is due to give birth to our son very soon. But yeah, either way, going to be watching along with you guys just as much as everyone at home. So very excited to see what happens this weekend. Cannot wait for it. So let's jump in, shall we? I'm going to do this video with basically just detailing what I think is going to happen inside of the top 5. I will point out my honorable mentions of guys that I think, or teams that I think very realistically could have a shot at making it into the top 5 if things go their way, or if things go bad for other nations that could be in the top 5, for example. So let's just quickly raffle through some of my honorable mentions. I'll start with Switzerland, which is running back Jeremy Seewer in MXGP, Arnaud Tonis in MX2, and Valentin Guillot in Open. They've had this team go, I don't know, like 7-8 different times, I think, for them. And it always seems different. Like Seewer's gone in MX2, Guillot's gone in MX2. Tonis, for whatever reason, this time is back in MX2. But they're very good, very talented. I just don't see a situation where they go top 5, but they were top 10 last year, and they should do well. Just a steady team. I think there's 3 good guys, but not 3 great guys. Seewer will carry, but I don't think he wins his class. I think he's probably top 5 in MXGP or there or thereabouts. And yeah, Switzerland probably around the top 10. My next honorable mention is the host nation, Great Britain. Of course, Tommy Searle in MXGP, Max Anstey in MX2, and Conrad Muse in Open. Very good arguments could be made that this is the best British team that they could put out right now. And honestly, the prospects moving forward for Great Britain once all these guys retire is going to be pretty bad. Muse will stick around for a while, but obviously Searle is, maybe this is his last nations ever. Anstey's getting up there in age, but he's still on a 250, so I could see him racing for a handful more years. Muse will be on this team quite a bit in the future, but this is this is a team that you put this team together maybe 4 years ago. They're podium contenders. Right now, everyone's just not really, I think, at their peak. I think Anstey's still getting used to the star bike. Searle's a bit older. Muse is really fast in the UK this year, and thank God it's on a UK track because he never seems to show up outside of the UK, but he could be very good this weekend, or he could just be mediocre like he's been in GPs. I don't know. But again, I would just put them hovering around the top 10. I don't think, unless things go incredibly well, they're going to get in the top 5, but we'll see. Host nation for a reason. Next honorable mention, I'll give Slovenia. That, of course, is Tim Geiser in MXGP, Jaka Peklaj in MX2, and Jan Panzer in Open. And it is Geiser and Panzer that will carry. Panzer, obviously, much less so than Geiser. Geiser, a multi-time MXGP world champion. In all likelihood, probably should have won it this year as well, but just had a late crash/injury that hindered him. And he is still dealing with it, but he was reasonably okay last week in Spain. So I think that just Geiser having decent days, or a decent day, I should say, on Sunday, should give Slovenia a chance at the top 10. They're going to need a miracle to be top 5, so I'd probably put them deeper back in the top 10. But I could see Geiser, having himself a 3-2, 2-3 type of day, and Slovenia gets in the top 10. I'll put Italy in my honorable mentions as well, even though they were a podium team last year. Andrea Adamo is kind of the only reason I still put them here. Yes, Alberto Ferrato in MXGP is good. Andrea Bonacorsi in Open was definitely not bad for them last year. But yeah, generally speaking, I feel like Italy's chances at winning the Motocross of Nations are steadily declining a little bit. We're going to need to see how more guys pan out. Obviously, Mattia Guadagnini has not panned out like we thought he would. So this team, I mean, yes, I guess theoretically could go top 5 if Ferrato has a great day and Bonacorsi shows up like he did at Ernée. But I think more than likely they'll be about 8th, I would say, for Team Italy. Adamo has not been as good this year as he was in his MX2 title season last year, so I think even that probably wears them down a little bit. So I'll put him around 8th-ish. My last 2 honorable mentions I will give to Belgium. Belgium, of course, goes with Brent Van Donk in MXGP, actually. Lucas Koenen in MX2 and Jago Geerts in Open. Jago Geerts, we know how good he is. Lucas Koenen has been probably the best MX2 rider in the world of late, and there's a very good chance he wins this weekend in the MX2 division. So that'll help Belgium's chances a lot. But as I theorized with my cohort Lewis Phillips on the LVK podcast, we think most of the heavy lifting will actually be done in the MXGP class this year. And they have Brent Van Donk for Team Belgium when they could have had Lucas Koenen and Sasha Koenen on an MX2 bike instead. That injury to Sasha in Spain really hurt their chances. They were almost not going to go, and in the end, they ended up going anyway. So, again, they could be better, but I think we'll probably see Belgium, thanks to Lucas having a good day, hovering around, let's say, 7th or so for them. And then my last honorable mention, I so badly want to put them in the top 5, but after gate selections today, I'm a little bit more skeptical about it. I'm going to put Germany outside of the top 5, Ken Roczen going in MXGP, Simon Langenfelder in MX2, Max Nagel in Open. And yeah, this is a very good team. There is every chance that this team not only contends for a podium, but an outside shot of a win. But they drew last gate pick in the ballots today for the qualifying races, which isn't terrible on this track, but it's going to require 3 pretty good starts to get them a good gate pick for Sunday. And if you don't have a good gate pick for Sunday, you're in a bad spot in general, because if you can't get a guy, like let's say Germany today or tomorrow qualifies 11th. That means at best they have one of their guys every moto going to the gate 31st, because the way it works is you get gate 11 and gate 31 if you qualify 11th. If you qualify first, you get gate 1 and gate 21. So I think they need a huge day tomorrow to salvage their chances at a podium. But going from gate 36 is not going to help. So for me, I was on the fence about them being top 5. I'm going to drop them out of my top 5 because of that. And into the top 5, let's go. My first pick for the top 5, and this mainly, again, comes down to gate pick from today because I think it's going to massively affect their chances moving into tomorrow. I'm going to put P5 on the weekend as Spain. Newly crowned 2-time MXGP World Champion Jorge Prado goes in MXGP. Oriol Oliveira goes in MX2, and Ruben Fernandez on his HRC Honda goes in Open. And look, Fernandez and Prado are absolutely going to have to do the carrying for this team. Oliveira is going to be the drop score no matter what, and they're going to need a very good drop score. Like, he's going to need like a 12th, 13th on the board probably to have them be comfortably top 5. But if he somehow wrangles together like a 10th, they could even be on the podium. But I think Prado, because they drew gate pick 4 today, is going to win his qualifying race tomorrow. He's definitely going to whole shot it, in my opinion. And I think he'll do very well tomorrow. I think Fernandez with gate pick 4 will have a big benefit over some of the big nations like France. He's going to go up against, in the open class, Aaron Plessinger, Maxime Renault. Jet Lawrence is an open, and Australia drew gate pick 17, so not terrible. I think Jet probably will win his quali race tomorrow. But I could see Fernandez and Prado getting 1-3, 1-4 type scores and qualifying 2nd or 3rd overall going into Sunday. And then that sets up Spain very well for gate selection. That'll help Oriol Oliveira come out much better as well, especially if they put him inside both of his motos. And because of that, I just see Spain having a slight upper hand already over Germany. I was pretty close with both of them. But I think that that combo of Prado and Fernandez with good gate picks, so long as tomorrow goes well, puts them inside of the top 5, in my opinion. 4th place, and you guys aren't going to like this because I know a lot of people are behind this team, but I just can't put them on the podium. I just can't. Team USA, I'm slotting P4. I want them to win so bad. You have no idea. I'm a big American fan. I love this race across all facets of it, but I want the USA to win every year as an American myself, and I'm so happy that Eli Tomac raised his hand to go. I'm so happy that Cooper Webb had the balls to drop back down to a 250 in race. Aaron Plessinger has been very good all year. Of course, it sucks not to have Chase Sexton. It sucks Chance Hymas got hurt. But in the end, I think we still ended up with a very good team, and honestly, sort of a team that might actually do really damn well on a track like this. Deep, loamy, technical, slower, which will help Cooper Webb, I think. And I think, Chase Sexton obviously would have been very good, but I don't mind the Webb selection over Hymas on this type of track. So yes, I'm very, very excited to see how USA does this weekend. I want them to be on the podium. I want them to win. Eli Tomac in the press conference today said that anything short of a win is going to be disappointing for them, so they're going for the win obviously as well. But I think the 3 teams ahead of them are just flat out better. I'm sorry, Team USA fans. I just really do think that. So we'll see if we have beast mode Eli Tomac that we saw sort of in SMX show up. If we have a decently recovered from his shoulder injury in SMX Aaron Plessinger show up. And if we have some form of 2016 Cooper Webb on a 250 Yamaha at this race, they could win it. They really could. Just not seeing it. I'll put him P4. So let's get into my podium predictions for the Motocross of Nations. In P3, it is my dear friend Lewis's pick to win the Nations. But for me, I think a few things will go wrong for them, namely starts. I'm putting the Netherlands in 3rd place for this one. I just think with Jeffrey Hurlings going in MXGP, newly crowned MX2 world champion Kai de Wolf in MX2, and Glenn Koldenhoff in Open, there's just a few too many question marks for me that in the past I think that they could have outridden it to this level and just got in a position to win anyway. But I think Hurlings is going to get a worse start than pretty much all of his top competitors in MXGP, and by that I mean Geyser, Prado, Fevra, who I haven't gotten to yet, Roxon, Hunter Lawrence, Eli Tomac. I think all get better starts than Hurlings, who is not a very good starter. That being said, he was very good in the UK this year, but he didn't start very well up against guys that he should be getting whole shots against in the British Championships. So I think that'll massively hurt them because I think he's going to have to go through a lot of guys in both motos and probably won't get through all of them. So then it puts a little bit more pressure on Glenn Koldenhoff to show up again. And when I say Glenn Koldenhoff, you think, yes, the amazing rides that he had at Aston in 2019, the 2018 Redbud rides that he had. This is not the same Glenn Koldenhoff. He is spearheading the Fantic effort for the first full season in MXGP for them this year. He was not bad, but he was not the same Glenn Koldenhoff we've seen in the past. He's getting older. I think that open class-wise, he's not going to be on the podium, personally speaking. If they had Calvin Verlander in this open spot, which is initially what it was supposed to be, I think this team wins. But I do think that Koldenhoff being here drags them down just enough, especially with Hurling starts, that they don't win. They will compete, no question about it, for the win. But for me, I am going to have to put them in 3rd. I don't think Kai de Wolf even wins his class. I think if this was a like a Dutch sand race or something like that, this changes the complexion entirely. But I don't think that de Wolf is 100% amazingly comfortable on surfaces like this, whereas his Husqvarna teammate Lucas Kunin will be. And I think other riders in MX2 will probably show up and give him a challenge this weekend as well. So I have Netherlands 3rd, but I think that there's every chance that they also win this as well. So for me, it's just a simple kind of power rankings display at this point in time. So for me, P2, 2nd year in a row, I'm putting Australia here. I'm sorry. I think Australia has a winning team as well. But I have way too many question marks about Kyle Webster back on a 250. Way too many question marks about Kyle Webster back in Europe because it didn't go well in the past for him here. He is on a factory Honda HRC machine, but he is going to have, honestly, going up against the nation I think is going to win. I think Webster is straight up going to have to finish like 6th in a moto on a 250. For Australia to win this Nations. There's going to be very low scores in my opinion. I think we're looking at, low teens for the winner. So because of that, I'm too skeptical on what Webster can do. Jet Lawrence and Hunter Lawrence, I have 0 question marks about. Hunter Lawrence, maybe a little bit now going to MXGP. It was going to be Jet Lawrence up against that stacked list of riders that I mentioned, but they've flip-flopped to give Hunter Lawrence a bit more of a break. So he is going to be number 4 in the MXGP class. Jet Lawrence will be number 6 in the open class. So, of course, there are, maybe a little bit of question marks about how that works out for them, a late change going up against different competition. I think Jet, personally speaking, 1-1 domination wins both of his motos. But Hunter Lawrence will see up against the competition that he has to go up against. I think for them, they need 1-1, 1-2, 6-7 type scores out of, Kyle Webster to win. And Jet and Hunter have to be pretty damn perfect, in my opinion. So I'll put Australia second, but that's just because, damn it, I hate to do it, but I have to pick them again. I think Team France wins the Motocross of Nations. I was so on the fence about them, especially if Maxime Renault was not going to be on the team. He ends up being on the team. He is back and ready to go. They get to trot out the exact same team that they won with last year in Ernée. It ultimately wasn't that close at Ernée, and yes, Jet Lawrence did crash in his first moto, so that affected things. But France was kind of always in a position to win, always with good starts out of their 450 guys as well. So for me, somehow, some way, I think France just always is going to find a way to compete and win this event. They put so much effort into it. Their team hospitality is bar none the best that goes to the races. Tom Vial went over to Europe as soon as SMX is over to test and try to get ready for this. So he's ready to go. I don't know if he's on his GP bike, but I know that Tom Vial back in Europe is going to be Tom Vial that we expect to be. So I don't have any questions about that. Roman Fevre, did he win races at the end of GPs? Not exactly. He won some motos and stuff, but I just, I think for him, it's all about having some solid rides. Again, similar to what I expect out of Geyser, I think the same for Fevre. I think he'll go like 2-4, maybe win a moto, go 1-4 or something like that. Maxime Renault will be very good in his open class. I think he'll be beat by Jet Lawrence, but I think he'll be in the mix, probably top 3 in his division. And then I think Tom Vial will contend for the win in MX2. And so you just cannot draw really a weak link for this team. More or less, you can almost say that all 3 of their guys have a legit shot at winning their class, which, not every team can say that. So I think for me, there's just too much going right for Team France to bet against them. They're too good at this race to be betting against them. They put too much effort in this race to be betting against them. So for me, I am picking Team France to win the 2024 Motocross of Nations. So that is my picks. France over Australia and the Netherlands on the podium. USA 4th, Spain 5th. I think my class winners, I could see Jorge Prado winning in MXGP. I could see Tom Vial winning MX2 or Lucas Kunin, but maybe Tom Vial just a little bit more oomph because they're going to have that pressure on France. And then I think Jet Lawrence wins Open. I think this is going to be unbelievable, though. Like, this is maybe one of the better nations, at least overseas, that we've had in a while. Team USA kind of sending like more or less one of their best teams that they've sent overseas in a very long time is really, really cool to see. And I'm ready for it, man. I'm so excited for this race. I hope you guys are too, and get involved in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. I am more than aware that my opinion is not the end-all be-all, and I think you guys will have just as good of opinions as well. And I think there's plenty of nations that I didn't mention here today that can do well as well. So, like people love to say Sweden, Estonia, Norway, they're going to have good teams as well. I think they'll be able to get up there and contend a little bit. So yeah, gosh, sorry, I'm kind of choking here, but I'm just choked up about the nations, man. I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait to wake up tomorrow, watch the quali races, watch the races on Sunday, and figure out who the hell is going to win this thing, because it is the best race of the year, hands down. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your picks for the Motocross of Nations winners, and thanks for tuning in and watching a video here on the Kellen SYS channel. Hope to see you guys after this one when we recap the nations on Monday. But for now, I'll send you guys on your way. Thanks for watching. See you later.